New Wave Community Media.
It's just J-Mike.
Hey, Nefi.
Hey, Kori.
I wanted to do something a little different for this episode.
Ooh, let's do it. I'm up for it.
It's going to be short and sweet, but very impactful and meaningful, I hope.
I like it. I like where this is going. Let's talk about that. Welcome back to another episode of Everything But Purpose. Let's start off with what we like to call our Chit Chat Challenge, where we serve up a conversation starter to keep those conversation and connections alive. This week's question is, what in your life makes you feel most grateful? And I think this is a perfect question for today's topic, because that's exactly what we're going to get into.
Exactly. So ask that at your next gathering, next connection, and see what people are talking about, what people are saying. But this is true because this episode I wanted to kind of talk about gratitude. I know sometimes it's a word that gets thrown out. And a lot of the times we're grateful, I feel, for we talk a lot about being grateful around Thanksgiving, right? What you're thankful for and all these things. But in reality, each and every day we can be grateful for anything, really.
Right.
And the reason why I really wanted to talk about this is because the current events that are going on in the world right now have a lot of different impacts on many of us. There's wars, there's deaths, there's just so much violence. And sometimes, we may not be able to always find things to be grateful for, right? And I know, we may look at something on social media and then we say, oh, well, that's far away, or that's not directly impacting me, so I'm thankful I'm here, right? I'm on this side. But the truth is that it affects us more than others, of course. And I just want to talk a little bit about the things that we can do to, maybe alleviate some stress, kind of, be able to navigate those feelings and emotions that we have when something in our life is not going well. Again, the biggest thing that I'm noticing right now when you go on social media, there's a lot of, violence going on throughout the world. And so I wanted to just kind of spend some time on that.
Yeah, I like it. So started off with that, I think the hardest thing to do is it's seeing and hearing and reading about what's going on and then bringing it back to kind of for you as a person, right? Because you're right, there is a lot of stuff going on, but we also got to try to take care of ourselves and try to see what we can do. And kind of like the old saying says, you can't pour from an empty cup. So taking care of yourself and try to be grateful, finding what grateful things that you have in your life. So then that way you could be more impactful and more powerful in the bigger picture.
Right.
So what's one of the things that you would say that you do or that helps you kind of feel that gratitude and help you get to that level for yourself?
I think more it's not just one thing. I think it's a process that I've learned that I'm practicing. It's not just one thing. And what I would say is the process has been for me to accept the fact that bad stuff is happening, right? That not everyone is nice to each other. Not everybody has each other's best interests. Not everybody cares about each other. And I think sometimes that's one of the hardest things to kind of just grasp, because we are sold this idea that we're all human beings and that, kindness is beautiful and love and peace, but you turn around and you don't see that. So one is accepting the fact that bad stuff is going on. For me, two is allowing myself to feel those emotions, whether it's anger, whether it's sadness, whether it's frustration, anguish, whatever those emotions that I'm feeling, I sit with them. I allow myself to really kind of go through them and process them. And I think that's been one of the biggest things that have helped in kind of maintaining myself, I don't want to say stress-free because we're always going to be stressed for whatever reason, but on a level where it's a little bit more balanced.
Oh.
So going through those emotions, and that means going through those emotions, right? So like you're angry, allow yourself to feel anger. There's no shame. Sometimes we're told that men can't cry, men can't do this. But that's not true. You can feel whatever you want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling those emotions. The other day, like, seeing everything that's going on in Palestine for months on end now, it came a point where I couldn't take it any longer, and I just had to cry. Mm-hmm. And I just cried. I cried for everything that I had seen, everything that I knew. I cried for the things that I can't do, right? And so after that happened, I don't want to say I felt better, but I felt I had released something that I was holding on to inside. And after that, my brain was a little more clear, and I was able to release some of that fog and then bring it back to myself and say, you know what, yes, it's true that all these horrible things are going on, but there's so much more. There's so much that I can be grateful for, right? And so that's kind of my process. And then I go into like practicing gratitude. So then we can get into that in a little bit. But
yeah, I think some of the stuff that has helped me also is just trying to just be still and be quiet. There's times where even like, at work or even at home and stuff like that, like what I try to do is just find a space or a time and just try to sit there and just be silent. And like you said, allow myself to feel, and it's very powerful because I do feel with everything going on, like we also got to be able to be strong to be able to handle that, because it's not something it's not normal, right? It's not normal. It's not okay. There's so much stuff, but to be able to still live and continue, because to continue and do our own lives, we do have to kind of like ground ourselves and feel that. So for me, I know that a lot of times what I try to do is just kind of sit still, try to be in a quiet space. Even if I'm outside, just try to just relax, close my eyes, and also meditate has been helping me a lot, because I have been feeling like, foggy, and it's been a lot that's been going on in our personal lives. And I do feel that you do need that time for yourself, for yourself to be able to feel whatever you want to feel. And I think it's important. I know there's times where I meditate and I'm there, and like you said, it's good to just release it, and I think one of the things that we do to help us is also talk about it, right? We have those conversations, and sometimes those conversations aren't what we're expecting, but it allows us to express ourselves, because I feel with this type of topic, you can't really talk to everyone about it, because everybody has their own opinions on it. But allowing yourself, and I know we've done this, kind of like when we allow ourselves to say what we want to say, it comes out, and it does, like you said, it doesn't feel better, but at least you're able to release it. Mm-hmm. And the other thing too, once you kind of put it out there, you start talking about it, you get more people talking about it, you get more different points of view, you get more people, more eyes on it to try to help the situation. So for me, I think that has helped me, because yeah, it's true. Like it's so sad, to just see all that stuff. And then we're trying to be positive for our family, our people, our in our immediate surroundings. And doing that is important, because we do have to continue to do it. If we want to help that fight, we also got to be strong enough to be able, to hold it and be in that space, because that's not a good space to be in. So really grounding yourself and trying to find that balance, it's important, especially in the world that we live in right now, because there's so much going on, and it's not easy, and it's sad to see it. There's times where I just stop looking at social media at times, because there's just so much of it that just keeps coming up, and it's just like, all right, time to like ground yourself and really feel the difference in yourself to be able to do something more.
Yeah, I think that's definitely important. I like when you said that being silent. And I think that's so important in this journey of, practicing gratitude and also finding yourself and being that strong person for yourself, because on a daily, we're just bombarded with voices, right? People telling you what to do, how to do it. Social media, the TV, the radio, all these things, everybody's always telling you what to do or what's the next thing that to look out for, or right?
Mhm.
And you can easily get lost into it. But when you can sit there by yourself and just, not even meditate, because you don't necessarily have to go into meditation, but if you can just sit there in stillness and, and be surrounded by the silence, the quietness, you will gain so much from that.
Mhm.
I can't even explain what, because there's no one thing, right? But it's definitely going to bring you back, ground you, and give you that extra kind of push to continue navigating the life that it gets tough.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's not just a war. There's the cost of living, the inflation, the job loss that people are going through. Like, everything is just crazy expensive. And so our own war with the outside trying to just survive.
Yeah.
But I definitely do like what you said about the stillness.
Yeah.
You don't do as much as
And it's something that I feel that, just 5 minutes, like, I know everybody's busy and stuff like that, but what's 5-10 minutes to just give yourself that time to feel, to think, to process, to release, like, I know, like, a few times, like, unfortunately that I do have a job where we have, like, conference rooms, I guess you can say. So I go in there sometimes and just sit there, and it's so powerful too, because it does give me the courage, it does give me the energy, it does give that extra boost to continue, because there's a lot of times where you're just like, man, there's so much going on, like, well, like, it's just, not that I've gotten to that point, but it's just like, man, it should be so much easier just to give up, but no, but I think that's the opposite. You do got to be strong, you do got to build yourself up to continue, and not only for the people around you, but also for yourself, because I think that's the most important. One person can make the difference. So if you take care of yourself, you can make that difference to your immediate family, to your friends, to your circle, and start making the difference.
Exactly.
I think the other thing that has helped me a lot of also journaling. I think journaling is one of the things. I know you have started a little not too long ago as well. And I feel that really does help, because one of the things that I do in my journaling, I do write down 10 things that I'm grateful for. And it could be, and I have my list in front of me, and there's so many different things. Like, each day is different, some days are the same, certain things are on there every single day. Some things, if I look back, sometimes it's random stuff, but I like to read. I like to share to kind of some of the stuff that I put on here, just to kind of give people idea to, like, really show gratitude on things that you might not even think about. Because, like you said, a lot of times we think about gratitude and being thankful only during Thanksgiving, but no, it's something that it's good to have that gratitude every single day. So some of the stuff that I have, like, on my list, just looking at it, is like, I'm grateful for the happiness that surrounds me. There might be something, something that I put on here too is like, I'm grateful for the growth that I've achieved. It's something that you might not see it. A lot of people might not see it, but I know that I'm growing, and I'm grateful for that. Just a couple other things. It's also, I'm grateful for a healthy family. It's also things not just for me, but also around me. Having yourself, our son, being healthy and strong, and like, that's also something to be grateful for. Because I think that being grateful for those little things that you might not see or you might not think about on a daily thing, but once you start really thinking about it, it's like, yeah, that is being grateful for healthy. For us, we've been fortunate. We haven't gone to the doctor in a while. We haven't got sick, but being grateful to having good health is a big thing. when I think a lot of people take that for granted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the list goes on again.
Yeah.
You could be grateful for so many things, but I did want to point out for, those that might be not too sure how to go about doing it or practicing gratitude. There's no specific way. It's just what feels right to you. So you for sure can do it through journaling.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest ones that you can do. You write about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can say it out loud. You can talk to yourself. There's no judgment there. If you're shy, do it in front of your family or whatever, or do it in the shower. Do it when you're by yourself and just practice saying it in front of the mirror, or just as you're getting ready. Like, I'm grateful that I got clean clothes, that I don't have to worry about wearing dirty clothes, whatever that may be. But I also wanted to point out that if you divide those up, so your gratitude into micro and macro, right? To the bigger ones, like health. I feel like that's a big one that you could be grateful for, obviously, every day, all the time. And health is a big one. But the micro ones, the smaller ones, are also just as impactful and important as those big ones. And sometimes we forget about them, right? So sometimes we say, oh, I'm grateful for being alive and healthy. Good. Yeah. But what does that really mean? Like, what does being alive, what specifically about being alive is that you're grateful for? Then if you divide this up, you can say, I'm grateful that I'm able-bodied, right? That I can actually walk out the door. I can, pick up boxes. I can use my hands, my fingers, my legs, everything to help me get around. Sometimes we forget the big part that our body plays. We think about breathing as being alive, and sometimes it's so much more than that. So being able-bodied, and likewise, if you're not fully able-bodied, be thankful for, I can still use my arms. Maybe my legs, aren't functioning how I wish they would, but I have my arms that can still support me, that can help me, feed myself. I can, help me change and dress and scratch, like so many things. And I've noticed that when you divide it up, you find so much more things that you kind of you take for granted. Like today, I'm grateful for the sun, right? The sun keeps us alive, keeps us warm. Today, I'm grateful for the sun. Today, I'm grateful for the tree that provides shade, and things like that. So, if you can start going down a path of just saying whatever it is that you're grateful for, and it doesn't have to be something so great. Oh my, I'm thankful that, so and so survived that car crash. Yes, like absolutely, but there's going to be other things too that you could be grateful for that are just going to be as impactful and are going to kind of continue pushing you on the daily through this life that we're living.
Yeah.
I think also using your voice, being grateful for having a voice. So if there's something that you want to speak about, talk about, do it. If you're going to do it by yourself in the privacy of your bedroom, sure. But if there is something that you've been really trying to voice and bring about, like, say it. Be grateful for the fact that you can actually speak for yourself. And so we just kind of wanted to bring a little bit of this to all you listeners, because again, it's tough out there right now. You open your social media pages and you can be bombarded by a whole bunch of things. And so it can get overwhelming. It can start to affect you in ways that maybe you thought it wouldn't. And so, at its core, just know that you are in charge of yourself and your actions and your feelings and emotions. And if you can balance those out and, work them, process them, allow them to be, And then you can start practicing gratitude. And then you'll see that, you know, maybe the world is not going to change, right? But you are changing. And so you're going to start viewing the world differently. And you're going to realize that there is maybe something that you can do. Or there will be a point where you will be called upon to do something, to make a change, and you'll be ready because you've been working on yourself, practicing gratitude, being grateful for everything that's around you.
And I think that's the most important thing. Finding those little things on a daily, because it's not something that, you know, you could say you're grateful for on the weekend and stuff like that. Like
Right.
the important thing is doing it on the daily. And I want to close it out by reading this quote that I found. The writer name is Robert Emmons, and he stated, "The practice of gratitude can increase happiness levels by around 25%. Gratitude enriches human life. It elevates, energizes, inspires, and transforms. Gratitude improves emotional and physical health. It can strengthen relationships and communities."
Mm-hmm.
So if you feel that you want to do something bigger, start with yourself.
Yeah.
Find that gratitude, speak it, say it, believe it, feel it, and then that's the first change to be able to make a change in our community.
Yes, definitely like that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. So again, that's all we have for today. So thank you for tuning in to our show. We appreciate each and every one of you. We are grateful for each and every one of you. We are grateful to our producers. We're grateful for just having this platform where we can share and discuss to a certain extent a lot of the feelings and emotions and just life in general. So thanks again. And until next time, remember, love is an endless adventure. So cherish your connections and keep those conversations flowing.
Later.